now, we are not, we would prefer to host the DW Classic.
So would I.
It's a, and it's a fine line, right? It's a state activity event, and you don't not want to get those, but I also know that
Nobody else wants it either.
it's one of those situations where apparently we did a pretty good job with it, and they liked it being kind of compact, but from just strictly an event standpoint, and the opportunity to, this is a major fundraiser for Wesleyan, and they obviously have alternatives. We don't want to lose that two-day event here in Mitchell. So we would prefer to have the Classic versus the gymnastics. But I did run that by the mayor and Stephanie and talked to the athletic directors.
Yep.
So I have not signed that agreement with the state.
Good.
I hope you wanted that.
Why?
Yeah.
The revenue is a lot better having the DW Classic.
I don't know if hotels, all I can tell you
Did you get
is
some this year?
from the Corn Palace stand side, that's the only thing I can comment on, it's a much better event to have the Classic here than it is the gymnasium.
Based on attendance.
Attendance and concessions, correct.
I know last year when they had it here, they were going after Corey big time because they liked the venue and they liked how it was ran.
We do a good job.
Yeah, it's a lot of volunteer hours.
But it's a fine line. I try to balance those things, and we know that even with the Dakota Hoyete challenge. It's, okay, what's the best event, to bring to Mitchell, knowing that it interferes with other things or there's other things that can't go on because we have it here. So, and that's, I don't do that by myself. I talk to my supervisors and try to get input. I do get input, I don't try to, I do get input from others, and then make that decision.
I have a potential, I was going to run it by this group, they just sent me some information, but a friend of mine who runs USA Patriots, it used to be the Wounded Warriors amputee softball team. They are looking for host locations. They have a few dates in 2023, which I don't think will fit because of the weather, but they schedule 12 months out of the year. They're filling their calendar for 2024. If it is something that Mitchell would like to host, I know we're kind of limited in those summer months with baseball, but it is what they are basically asking the host city for. There are some hospitality things, but it's travel cost for the team. They estimate around $7,000 for that, but if anything over, they send that about a month afterwards. Again, I don't know if there's a better time to pitch to them or to see what fits in their calendar for 2024 because of basketball or baseball tournaments, but basically it's just a softball field. They ask us to provide the umpires, which they have the list of umpires, where you can go on their website. They pretty much provide everything that you need. I know they are in Bismarck in June this summer. So, but they host a kids camp that will go along with that, and then they have the games as well. So I thought, well, if they're looking for dates, this might be something that we could look at hosting if we have the time, the open weekend.
It's softball?
Yes, slow pitch. And it's all men, so they have to have at least one missing limb. Some of them have two.
Did they share a date for tomorrow?
No, he told me, he was like, 2024 is pretty open right now. They're starting to fill 2024 right now. 2023, they were looking into November, and I don't think that would really work here. I'd be a bit too close.
Snowball.
So, who do I need to reach out to see what the dates for 2024 tournaments are? Are those already set? What would be the best way?
Jocko's knows a lot of softball dates.
Okay.
I guess I stay in touch with Jeremy Nielsen too.
Yeah.
You would have all the facilities.
He's given me 2023,
Okay.
I guess the sports complex
Yeah.
schedule. We have the early bird, the potential teener tournament, the Brian Wilson, the Harps. We have the Wolverang.
I think there's a few open weekends.
So there's, I think, 5 or 6 that Mitchell hosts on an annual basis. Other than that,
Pretty
that
open.
sports complex is there.
And most of those are pretty early. I would think something a little later.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just trying to think during the state amateur, which obviously, that's the whole issue with parking, but I don't think the softball fields I don't see anything going on over there.
Some nights there is.
Yeah, just the men's, finishing up the men's league, yeah, just the league stuff, so, I think that July, August is probably, but Jeremy would have all that.
August, you're looking at, it's bike week and everything else.
Yeah, but you're not talking huge crowds, are you, Tiffany? They're just, I'm trying to, how many teams come?
Sorry. I think it could be, they provide us with all of the media information so we can do media pitches. They'll be available for interviews a month out.
How many teams?
I'm just thinking that, that's kind of sad, quite honestly, there's that many handicapped men's league teams, but
So it's the national.
US, right, they travel the US.
That travels, yeah, so they travel, this is what they do, they travel the US.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, is it just 2 teams, they play each other? So it's it's an event?
One event, yeah, so
Oh.
we have the children's camp that would be hosted.
Yeah.
Like
So
Saturday
you're talking
morning,
one day?
And then have, yeah,
Yeah, oh, I can't imagine you can't find a good
we.
one day, yeah.
There's gotta be a field open.
Definitely.
Right. Yeah, you're talking one field for one day. Yeah. I would think that would be pretty easy.
Going back, Doc, to, you asked about gymnastics.
Yeah,
You're looking at 20 to 24 teams staying for 2 or 3 nights. So on the hotel's perspective, the state gymnastics does better than
Yeah.
the Culver's Classic. Whatever the same weekend might be.
okay. Anything else?
Just wanted to share a couple pictures of the banners. Should have been the Palace Ice Festival. Jeremy was gracious enough to put this up for me, so right when you walk in would be the Toshiba rink where they had their competition. There was the banner. Obviously, the hospitality one is up for the Hanson and the DW Culver's Classic in the hospitality room. We utilized the feather banners, just one on each side of the arena. And then I didn't notice this until I got back to the office and looked at it, but it's kind of a cool picture. Kind of blown out of proportion there, but you got the 2 SEA banners there on each end, and then I didn't realize, like I said, until I got back to the office, you got the Culver's logo there up on the big scoreboard up top. So I guess just kind of a cool picture.
Those have been running on the new boards too, if you haven't been to the video boards in the end, so those have really been kind of nice to show, and they look really good there, which we couldn't use those before for that kind of thing, so.
Got some contact information I want to give you after the meeting too. Classmate of mine, Bud Farquhar, he's got 2 kids that are national trap shooter
Good.
champions all over the United States.
They're like Freddie Nagel style.
They beat Fred.
Yeah.
And they're coming to town the last weekend of March, putting a trap shooting clinic out at the trap grounds. I've already got, I think, 7 rooms for 3 nights booked for it, so there's going to be quite a few people coming in. He didn't know anything about this, so I thought I could get help. I don't have a patent or anything, but I can get you the name. Even if they, we can help a little bit. But they're talking about an annual thing coming in doing, and I got people coming from Huron, Watertown, North Dakota.
Yeah, we have a stock email,
Yep.
info we can send out to them.
It's the time frame. March. That kid, his youngest kid shot 200 straight doubles, tied with a guy from Ohio, and shot 200 more straight, he never missed them. And they went into the third round, and he won. And you don't, if you ever shoot doubles with two birds coming out, and you gotta hit both of them. It's-
They're from town
They, Bud graduated from Mitchell, but they live on Rapid City. He works for a gaming company. He went, he made it in the Phillies as far as double A, flying down.
All right, should we go to awarding the grants?
Could I just have a little bit of time? with,
Sure.
I just wanted to continue maybe a more brief discussion about how we're able to track hotel rooms. I know last meeting was probably a little gray as far as maybe how I presented it, but I know there was maybe not some concern or maybe just hesitancy about, I don't know, trusting the numbers that are submitted on the grant application or the evaluation forms. And again, I guess this ties into the end goal of having some sort of funding matrix that we can just use once we get an SEA grant application, compare it to a similar event. This is what they received, and this is kind of the price range per se that we would start with getting a grant request for that. So I guess the QR code idea was brought up last meeting. So that's kind of where we're at. We created, 3 different, they're all the same QR code, they're just different colors. The gold and the white are more successful as far as scans go. I guess the burgundy I probably didn't even need to create. All Google research says the darker the background, the less successful you're going to be scanning the QR code. So the gold and the white potentially is what we would be able to utilize. And where this takes you, I guess the landing page per se, would be this, again, the questions, the title of the form, that's all we can change if we have a consensus on if we want to do it a little differently. But this would be the landing page when you scan that QR code. It takes you to the City of Mitchell website, and it has this hotel survey form.
And you are planning on putting these codes at the hotels or at the events?
That, just down the list on my talking points, that it would be, I would include it in the approval email. So if the committee approves an event, we send out a stock award letter saying you've been approved for this amount. We would require, I guess, the best of our ability, ask the event contact to include this to participants to scan and complete, I guess require them. But another step further, I would go post or pre-event, probably try to do the night before or the morning of, wherever the event venue is or the facility, print out 8, 10 of them and try to strategically post them. They say post it at eye level so you can just use your phone and scan it and try to get, try to get the feedback from the attendees, the spectators, the fans, and use this as a potential, I guess, a tool to assist the event main contact that applies for the grant. They would still be required to submit their, post-event evaluation form with the question, how many hotel rooms did the event sell, or how many hotel rooms were sold for the event. They'd still be required to submit financials. I guess I'm just trying to think of, again, another tool or a way that we can potentially assist to try to get a more, instead of just 50 plus or 2 different, I've looked through past evaluation forms, and grant applications, and the number of events, the events that put the number on the grant application, that number doesn't even compare to what they submit on their evaluation form. So the discrepancy between the two is, I mean, there's somewhere with a couple hundred hotel rooms. They're saying they're gonna potentially, again, it's an estimate, potentially sell 350 hotel rooms, and then on the evaluation form after the event, it says 65. So again, in the scheme of things, and the long-term end goal to have some sort of funding matrix to assist you guys, I feel like, I guess we would have to narrow down. It's not going to be within probably, there's going to be a plus or minus, 10 or 20 some hotel rooms. But I guess this was kind of the idea. We thought to, again, assist, not try to make, the event contact's job harder or more difficult. It's not meant to, I guess, burden, per se, somebody wanting to fill out the grant application knowing that they're going to be expected or required to, submit an evaluation form with financials at the end, along with, posting this potential QR code.
I'm trying to follow this through. So say the indoor soccer tournament has 600 kids at it. You want every parent to hit that QR code and fill that out? Or do you want the coach? Or who do you want to fill it out?
Right now, I think everybody.
Because I would think you might get 10 or 20% of the people filling it out. So then the numbers are skewed because they had 600 kids here, 60 teams, but only 100 surveys got turned in.
Yeah, that's the feedback I was hoping for.
Or on the flip side of that, I mean, if a kid walks up
That
and
would
goes,
do
oh,
it.
what's this, and scans it, yeah, we're staying at the hotel, but then mom and dad are good too.
Duplicate.
Yeah.
Most of the organizers, like John did with his classic, or Hanson, would they send out maybe 3 or 4 pages of logistical information, where to park, fees, all this kind of stuff. That goes to every team. And it'd be pretty easy for the team, for the organizer to say, we need you to do this. So now, instead of 600, you have 60 of those coming in. Each team could do that. And just like Matt said, he knew exactly how many hotel rooms within just a few of the parents and the kids, because he booked them. There's somebody like that on every one of these teams. They're the hotel person, and they trade that job off. And I think every team could do this pretty easily and give us a pretty good reflection of hotels.
Yeah, you just have to clarify it on who's going to do it.
Yeah. Well, and I think part of that is, again, the event organizer, it's busy work, but there's also, there's a substantial amount of support in many cases for it. I don't think it's too much to ask to send this form out and maybe do a little follow-up. Say, Coach, we didn't get your hotel form. Could you fill this out for us? It helps, helps us put on this event, and what's good for the event is good for those teams that come to the event.
Wouldn't hurt to try it.
Yeah, there's nothing's going to be perfect.
No.
No, you're never gonna figure it all
You
out.
wouldn't attract necessarily parents or grandma or grandpa.
It's worth a try.
As far as the survey itself, I guess I don't know if anybody looked at it prior to the meeting. Is it appropriate as far as questions? I mean, appropriate and simple. What was the reason for your visit to Mitchell? Hopefully it's going to be, again, we'll try to make it as event specific as possible with whatever SEA approved event. Their coordinator here, give this to all your participants or your teams or your coaches and make sure they fill them out. Obviously the dates they stayed. Again, these can be edited or removed, but select which hotel they stayed at, or if they did not stay at a motel. The number of total rooms purchased, maybe reason behind choosing to stay at the hotel? Was it, you know, the host site for their team? Did somebody recommend it? Did they read about it, you know, come across it on social media or marketing or something to that extent? And then I guess lastly, I just threw in, did you stay at the campground during your visit? Because we do know the summer events, there are a good amount of participants with these events that stay at hotel or at campgrounds. And then I guess this is what we came up with as far as what we would send out to the event coordinator per se. Again, we can use the white or the, you know, gold QR code. The event name up top, what they need, you know, what they are expected to do, I guess, share your feedback with us. Thank you for attending, and then most of these events have a logo or some sort of design that you can put on there and make it that event specific. Are you trying to scan that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
Mine worked.
There, you got it?
Yep.
Okay.
Does it work with the logo in the middle of it?
Yeah, this one did on the TV.
And I noticed after I printed it out, there was a little interference there towards the bottom.
You gotta have Doug's phone to make it work.
10-year-old iPhone 8,
That's why.
6th
Don't
generation.
upgrade, right?
So again, there's probably some tweaking, some more stuff that maybe needs to
They
be
could
done.
put it in a packet of information, you know,
Yeah.
I think I think it's a good start. I do think most teams will know about how many fans they have, you know, different, like a youth basketball team, they know exactly who came, within a few, you know, it'll be really quite close, if they just do it.
And, you know, majority, we're thinking maybe, you know, sporting events. I mean, we have the upcoming, the comedy night with the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association. Again, you know, send it out to, I believe her name is Kim Hammer, you know, send her just the QR code, which she can utilize as, you know, as she sees fit, but then also the day of, the night before, go out to the Highland, pop up neatly, you know, 5, 6, 7 of these throughout the venue, and I don't know, see what happens. They submit the form, it comes to our form center, and potentially, yeah, I mean, it could be a lot of information all at once if we're, but you know when the events are, when they're coming, and just keep hitting refresh on my computer screen and try to interpret the data and see how accurate the numbers can be.
Well, I think you're right, though. With most events, like things that I go to for my kids' club sports, we know who's staying in, what, you know, someone, if we're gonna stay overnight, usually a parent makes our rooms, and we all reserve through that block that they have. I mean, usually someone on the group knows what's going on.
Yeah, I know we booked 81 rooms
I
out
was
for
gonna say,
the
you're
state
the-
tournament, and all 81 are taken, so I know that there's 81 rooms at the Howard Johnson.
When I tried to get one, so.
Team events will be a lot easier than,
Yeah, like.
Yes, some of that, yes. Yep.
Festival or.
it's gonna be hit and miss.
show or something.
Yeah, but it's worth a try. I mean, it's worth.
All right, should we go to the,
Yeah, you want to do.
Motion to do
Fun.
executive?